Hey folks, I think I already talked about quite a bit of the weird shit that I deal with. Living with a roommate that NAU assigned me. You know, from shitty butt cheek kissy marks on the toilet seat. Like absolutely literal shit on the toilet seat where my butt is supposed to sit down, to really weird things like him waiting exactly till when I opened my door handle for him to pop out of the door, or for him to wait exactly when I'm coming out of the bathroom for him to send his girlfriend to come talk to me and try to proposition a threesome. All sorts of weird shit like that. One thing I noticed is that he had put up microphones all over the place, and he was recording things that I was talking about, even things that I talk about in confidence in my room, even things that happen very quietly, and I'm talking very quietly. It doesn't matter if sound carries over through these walls. It doesn't matter if we have a air conditioning duct connected, which even then I'm able to insulate sound from. None of that matters, because what he does is he has the roommate next door listening in, and he himself is listening in, and he uses that to harass me. And he even recently started putting up surreptitious, somewhat surreptitious cameras, but he would make them pop up out of nowhere, right? And so one thing I'd like to show you guys is a camera that he put up in the hallway of our rooms in a really awkward way that shows the bathroom. And in the bathroom, I caught some very suspicious things being put up that looked exactly like hidden cameras. And so that's the kind of roommates that NAU assigns you to live with. And I think it's important for everybody to know that. I think it's important for everybody to understand what kind of things these folks that are trying to rob me of my security clearance compensation are up to. And it isn't just me being annoyed that somebody shits on a toilet seat, which, believe it or not, has been a trend for the past roommates that I've had that are sent to try to rob me of my security clearance compensation. They're effectively useless goons, ASVAB waivers. What do we use this kid for? He's the son of such and such general, but he's dumb as fuck. What do we use him for? Oh, we'll send him to try to rob such and such of his security clearance compensation. So that's what these kinds of individuals are. And I just wanted to show you guys a couple of examples of things that were done around the house. And one of them he even admitted was a camera. It's like, sure, there might not be an explicit expectation of privacy, but you should probably tell your roommate when you're putting up a camera that's facing a bathroom or facing a bedroom door. Because if you're not home, I can just decide to change with my door open, only for me to find out that you have a camera put up, right? And so that's the kind of dumb shit that I deal with. And so one thing that I'd like to show you guys is a camera that was put up that was not there before, and he tried to act all slick about it, but it just popped up out of nowhere. Same thing as this coffee machine. And so let me go ahead and pause this, flip the camera around and show you. If he wants to put up a coffee machine in the kitchen with a little camera on it, you can go ahead and do so, but when I roam around the house in my boxers, he can suck my dick. I don't give a shit. I'm not that sexy that I need to hide my body from some fucking creepy weirdo sent to rob me of a security clearance compensation. But I just think it's important for you guys to know. I think it's important that I note that for the world. We have retarded bitches like Jasmine Barkis, the son of such and such military individual, who shows up in his police car to chastise me for riding my bicycle downtown. And when I don't get along with her and her transgender boyfriend, girlfriend, both whatever, down at a Thai cuisine that I worked at, she decided that she was going to abuse power and become my Spanish instructor and come abuse me down at NAU. When Natalie Long's father realized that I wasn't in love with his daughter and he wasn't able to force an arranged marriage where she could rob me of a bunch of my money, be it my security clearance compensation for the most part, he went ahead and denied me my attempts to get some help around campus with some health issues that I have. He decided he wasn't going to help with that at all. When I let him know that my athletic training instructor was basically trying to get me to fuck her. And if I wouldn't fuck her, she would feed me false information about how the exams would be conducted. He didn't listen. When I let him know that Jasmine Barkus was going to my university as a Spanish instructor under a whole new identity, pretending to suddenly be transgender, pretending to suddenly go by the name Brandon. All of a sudden, she's not wearing the harness, the fat suit that she wore, so that she could pretend that she had an ass, because she doesn't have an ass. Her back is flat. You know, just like straight, it's just legs all the way up to her neck. When, you know, she would take off that harness, wear a bunch of makeup. We're talking silicone, full-on silicone disguise. We're talking fake hair. We're talking different fake haircuts that she would alternate. And so this is a very elaborate scheme of disguises, very elaborate scheme of shitty individuals doing shitty things. And all of a sudden, when I'm not accepting the fact that they put up cameras in the privacy of my own home without letting me know, when I interfere with their little effort, they get pissed about it and they throw a tantrum. Well, you know, their emotions are for them to deal with, the same way the circumstances that they put me under are for me to deal with. I'm not here to coddle anybody. You know, they're going to try to say, well, you know, you unplugged the cameras that Saif ul Haq put around his house. Well, you know, that guy literally broke into a house that I was given exclusive living rights to because I got a restraining order against him, because he was pointing loaded firearms at me and yelling at me, telling me that I was his bitch now, and he was going to put me under a conservatorship, and he was going to rob me of all my money, just like a stupid supervillain in a cartoon, right? He told me exactly what he was going to do. He pointed firearms at me and gave me a legal basis to get a restraining order, and so that's exactly what I did. And so what him and his buddies did is, when I left the house to go to work, they broke in, they put cameras all over the house, and really obvious shit too. We're talking literally a black wire and a microphone hanging down from my ceiling, just drilled through the attic. We're talking a PlayStation with a hole drilled in it and an obvious camera lens sticking out of it. We're talking a clothing iron in his room with an obvious camera lens, you know, a hole drilled into the clothing iron and a camera lens placed in it. And he was frustrated that I unplugged those things when I was given exclusive living rights to the house. He was frustrated that I disabled the Ring camera when I was given exclusive living rights to the house. It's like, I don't want the stupid piece of shit that was robbing me and pointing loaded firearms at me to also be able to watch me on camera 24/7 as I live in the comfort of a home that I pay rent for. And so all of these attempts to create a legal basis that makes me look like the bad guy because I disable such and such camera, well, you know, you can pay Afro Man as much as you want, but at the end of the day, you're just a piece of shit that pays celebrities. You can pay the celebrities down at Revival Cycles to try to pretend to be your buddy, and so you can try to rub it in my face, which is really weird. I mean, those are decent folks as far as I know, and they're just running a really cool company with a really big community. Like, I don't know why. He's like, look, I own the celebrity now. I bought him with money and I spend time with him. I was like, good for you, buddy. That's how you spend your life, trying to rub shit in other people's faces. You must be very happy with the money that you lost to me. He's very depressed now. His girlfriend tries to fuck me and stuff. She has a couple of his kids, I think. Anyways, and so yeah, that's effectively what's happening. I'm being forced into these corners where these people try to paint me into legal scenarios, and I'm just not having it. And I'm fully within my right to do the things that I do. If some motherfucker is gonna stick a camera in my hallway in the privacy of my home, between my bedroom and the bathroom, where I'm free to walk naked, fuck them. That camera's not gonna be there. If some stupid piece of shit that I live with that shits all over a toilet seat is gonna try to play spy, I'm gonna play spy right back, and I'm gonna out him for everything that he does. I don't give a shit. He can leave his door open and set up a camera and leave cash on his table and leave cell phones and laptops and gaming rigs all around the place. I don't care. He can set up as many traps as he wants. He's as stupid as fuck, and this is what his pathetic life boils down to, is trying to set traps to try to rob people, to try to claim that they're some sort of evil outlaw. What a lot of these people are missing out on is the bigger picture. And I think I spoke about that last video. I said, hey, this is the bigger picture. This is what's going on. This is what these people are up to. You have dimwits like Layla being sent around. You have dumb motherfuckers that are the sons of such and such executive like Garrett Myers being sent around. It doesn't matter. None of these people matter. None of their businesses are going to succeed. None of their startups are going to succeed. None of them are going to be able to take down the big evil CEO. And the reason is because they don't even have their hearts in the right place, and they don't even have some sort of cohesive teamwork going on. None of their co-ops are working out, none of it. And so this isn't me trying to rally against them. You know, there is no game for me to play anymore. I already have legal references to all these shit that these people are doing. I take videos of the stupidest shit, like some dimwit setting up some sort of camera and getting frustrated that I don't want it in an area where I'm always naked, right? So, you know, just another fuck these guys video. Fuck Natalie Long and her dad. No, I don't want an arranged marriage. Go fuck yourselves. I don't give a shit if you can be the dean of NAU by buying your way. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if Jasmine Barkis calls herself Brandon and acts as my Spanish teacher because all of a sudden she stops wearing her ass harness to try to get more tips at a Thai cuisine. It's a Thai cuisine. Do you know how many transgender people are in Thailand? If you're really transgender, you would just be yourself over there. I mean, like so many factors just rule out her capacity to even carry out a lie effectively. She was bragging to me about the fact that she gets to cross-dress and be gay because somehow her and her boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever that individual thinks they are, tried to come up with this narrative that I was anti-gay and I was against the gay community. But that's just factually not the case. That bitch is retarded. She's really creepy. She even stalked me to my window last night. We're talking like 2 a.m. This bitch pulls up to my window, is frustrated that I won't fuck her. She pulls up to my window and she tries to, you know, spy on me through the mesh screen. Like, that shit is really creepy, yo. That's what NAU is effectively. They see this little Super Bowl come their way. They see a little bunch of money that they can try to rob as long as the right people are put in the right positions. But it's all the wrong people in the wrong places for our government. This is supposed to be an investigation for a security clearance that's pending adjudication. What it isn't is supposed to be some of the dumbest motherfucking goons that couldn't actually do a real government job being sent around to try to play spy, to try to play F1, to try to play tankers, whatever kind of metaphor they come up with for it. It's just so not good for our country, and I feel really bad for the people that don't see that. I really feel for the people that want to be successful and want to move on to the next level, graduate from this level of bullshit and you know, greed, and just move on to the next level of actually doing cool shit for a living. I really feel for those folks because this place just ain't it. We're talking NAU, we're talking about the intelligence community in general and how they conduct themselves in these circumstances. This isn't a military training exercise. This isn't a war game. This is just a bunch of greedy bastards. We're talking Palestinians, we're talking Israelis, we're talking Americans, we're talking Thai people, we're talking Bosnians, we're talking Serbians. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not calling out countries. I'm just saying it literally doesn't fucking matter. What your race is, what your religion is, what your sexual identity is. Everybody's just trying to play the cards that they have as hard as they can. You know, the transgender person is like, you're just doing this against me because I'm gay. And it's like, no, you have a reputation of stealing tables from other servers. Every single person in this restaurant says the same thing. Your boyfriend is trying to get me fired from a place that I volunteer at down the street because you guys are trying to create this little false astroturfed gay narrative. So, you know, fuck those kinds of people. None of it makes sense. All of it's stupid. So glad you guys got to see the little camera and the attempt to erase evidence of the past of very shitty things that they did where an evidence was presented in front of the judge, and the judge literally said, this person is a danger to your life, that person is a credible threat, you get exclusive living rights to the household, this person is no longer allowed to possess firearms, they are not well. And that person works for the CIA, that person works for the government, that person is allowed to wear police uniforms, that person is allowed to wear disguises, that person is allowed to fly fighter jets. And the judge came to the conclusion that that person was a credible threat to my life, and they were not allowed to possess firearms, and they were not allowed to live in the same home as me. And that shows you that when a very learned person that conducts themselves under very stringent rules and procedures in a courthouse, a judge tells you this thing about a retarded kid like Saif Ulhaq, who I used to look after and babysit and change his diapers and wipe the shit off his toilet seats, same as I do in this household. When somebody like that is being told to pack their bags like a fucking bum by a judge, and they're allowed all these other graces by their billionaire daddy, right? They're allowed to fly fighter jets, they're allowed to pretend to be a police officer, they're allowed to conduct security clearance investigations for Yankee White security clearances. When that kind of an individual is called a credible threat to my life and they're kicked out of the house, he doesn't get to question me about why I unplugged security cameras after I was granted exclusive living rights to a home, after I was granted a restraining order against him, after he's broke into my home several times just because I left for work. He doesn't get to ask questions. He doesn't get to decide what I do or don't do in the privacy of my own home. As a matter of fact, the fact that he set up those cameras after I left the home, and he's showing the documentation of and the footage of it and saying, look at this evil guy unplugging the cameras that I just put up in the home that I was specifically told not to go into, not to get near, and that this other individual is granted exclusive living rights to. He should be arrested for that. And he has fetal alcohol syndrome. He has microcephaly. His skull is literally so small, his brain did not have the space to fully develop. He's clinically retarded. So this clinically retarded individual that is trying to carry out a bunch of crime, that's trying to rob me, should be arrested for the crimes that he is admitting to. And for him to carry on perpetrating that crime via as many proxy individuals as possible, as many proxy individuals as he can pay off, as many dimwits just like him that shit on a toilet seat, well, to that I say, he can go fuck himself. I'm talking loud and proud. I don't give a shit if it's midnight plus 30 minutes. None of this is a secret. He's well aware of the issues that I deal with, and that I told him I wasn't going to put up with his shit or his girlfriend's shit. He's well aware that I don't give a shit if he puts up a pink light in his bedroom and leaves a bunch of cash laying out. I'm not only not interested in a non-monogamous relationship with him and his girl, but I'm also not interested in going into his room or having any sort of relationship with him that isn't straightforward and to the point. And so yeah, I'm living with a proxy, just some loser paid off to be just as shitty as the other loser, just some loser putting up cameras, getting frustrated that I cover up those cameras. But I'm doing it proudly. There's no secret about it. If they want to pretend it's NAU property and they want to put it up here or there and get all frustrated that, I'm not willing to put up with his shit. I'm not willing to have a camera put up where I walk around naked or where I might just leave my bedroom door open. He can go fuck himself. He can go cry to the authorities. I have my legal basis covered. I have affidavits with the courts that describe these kinds of things that I deal with. I have plenty of video documentation. I have plenty of written documentation kept around in different safe places. And I also have a history of restraining orders, both attempted and granted against these sorts of individuals. And so, just another brick in the wall, a wall they can't get over, a wall that protects my money, money that they're going to come begging for in pretty short order. They're going to come and they're going to say, well, you really owe us, son. The city never forgets. And I'll show them all these videos and I'll let them know that I never forgot either. I'll play just as dirty as they did. And there are some people out there where they kept it professional. They played it like it was a game. They played it like it was an exercise. And they were professional where they could be. And they were humanistic where they could be. And they were decent as much as they could. And those people are going to be rewarded so fucking hard. A lot of these people I'm not best buddies with, I never knew them before, and I'm probably not going to know them after. It doesn't matter. I'm not buying relationships. I'm not trying to invest in individuals specifically because it benefits me. I want to reward the people that are doing the right thing. These people aren't doing the right thing. They're trying to negate some very substantial legal claims that I have. They don't know how to wipe their ass hairs and their shit off a toilet seat. And they don't know how to respect a restraining order because they are in fact a credible threat to my life. And they were identified as such. And the judge didn't give a shit that this kid's dad was a billionaire and that he flies fighter jets and that his rank is general because he paid for that rank and that he greased the right wheels. Doesn't fucking matter. The same way I don't give a shit if a president is going to trip all over his dick and try to abuse his power. I don't give a shit about these billionaires or these billionaires' kids or these House representatives or these Superior Court justices or these District Court justices or these Supreme Court justices or these senators. I don't give a shit about any of them. If they're wrong, they're wrong. And these people are objectively wrong. I mean, the things that I tell you are very much the case, You had a senator trying to fuck my friends, and she was paid off by Saif ul Haq, and she also worked with Shaymat Shaheen. And it's like, I tried to be decent through this whole process. I try to be good to the ladies in my life, my sisters, whatever, blah, 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 what have you. But when they try to fuck me over, they can literally eat their own shit. I don't care. I don't care if you trip and you fall on your face in public. That's not my problem, right? Like I'm literally trying to protect myself, and you want pity after you tried to fuck me over. And some people do get it, right? Some people do get that pity because they don't understand that what they're a part of is not sustainable and not good for the whole of the country. It doesn't matter if I'm being granted a Yankee White security clearance at the end of it all. It doesn't matter if they're going to be able to say that, oh, they're such and such green belt or black belt. It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is the reality of the fact that the way they conduct themselves, the way they do things, the way it affects the local community in ways that the amount of money that they shovel out of the treasury to try to heal the problems that they cause legitimately causes inflation and is very much one of the few sole reasons that there's a huge wealth gap in this country is because some motherfuckers are allowed to shovel money right out of the treasury into their own pockets. And so this issue is bigger than me, and I'm treating it as such. If this issue was just me, you'd have a few dead people, and you'd have me in a prison cell, and you'd have me released after a court trial. It's very easy to resolve these kinds of things within the legal rights that I'm granted, considering the threats and the overt attempts at my life that have been made. It's very easy for me to defend myself and do the right thing for myself. It's much harder to do the right thing for everybody else while also letting everybody else know that I'm doing it for them despite their transgressions, the vast majority of them anyways. And so here I am defending myself against a camera put up in my household between my bedroom door and the bathroom. If I fuck and I need to go wash my dick and my butt crack, I have to do a whole song and dance of covering up, even though I know that my roommate stays to his bedroom the same way I mostly do, because I have everything I need in here, right? And so that's what these kinds of people are. These kinds of people are the type to take away your decency of able to take a shower, waltz around short distances in your underwear. They want to remove comfort They want to set false legal precedents, and they want to set me up for failure, and they do so by abusing the powers of the military. And what these people do and the powers that they abuse, it's going to take something a little bit bigger than a Goldwater-Nichols Act to resolve. This is a huge problem. It's pervasive, and it permeates out of the military into the remainder of the intelligence community as some sort of subculture. I get it. We all got to play spy. We all got to get good at doing slightly evil things for the greater good of self-preservation, you know, get that practice in case we need to do it someday. I totally get it. I totally get human intelligence being so important. But these people are absolutely damaging the country in the way they conduct themselves in so many other facets and so many other perspectives that you can look at this issue from. And, you know, I have a few facets that I look at this issue from, and I make videos about it. Not because I'm some sort of pessimist, not because I'm some sort of evil school shooter type personality. No, far from it. I actually want to protect these folks, even the ones that did things wrong. I don't think their lives should be ended because they're one of the first people to be called on this shit officially. And this issue and how pervasive it is and how widespread it is, it should officially be considered. You know, and I'm no judge to issue the verdict on just how guilty they are and what percentage of responsibility each person carries. But there's a lot of responsibility spread out over the board. You know, a lot of it lies with my family. A lot of it lies with the people I used to be able to call my friends. A lot of that responsibility lies within my roommates. A lot of my classmates are moles placed there, specifically in classrooms, the same way I was placed specifically in a classroom with Jasmine Barkus, the stupid hoe that goes by Brandon, and wears a disguise to act like a man. Anyways, I think you guys get the point. I could go on and on, but a lot of this info you could cross-reference with a lot of the other videos in the channel. Thanks for listening in. This episode is more so about security cameras being placed around my house, as well as microphones, not so surreptitiously, and the individuals involved, and what legal precedent they're trying to set, and what not so factual basis and claims they try to make with the things that they do. And I think it's really important for me to, at times, get ahead of that story, right? Because what they're saying is, oh, this guy's disabling cameras, he's up to no good, what's he hiding? And it's like, actually, mostly just my cock and balls, right? Mostly just my cock and balls. I'm just gonna waltz over the bathroom, and losers like you, especially losers like Marjorie Taylor Blowjob Machine, will go and show naked pictures of people to the government and try to pretend that she has some reason to do so. Because she's the daughter of a billionaire, she bought a political position, and she doesn't even represent her constituents. She's just a fucking blowjob machine, and her entire fucking community knows her as such. You know, the rest of her neighborhood is also a bunch of blowjob machines. And, you know, I don't disparage people for their sexual proclivity. I don't disparage people because of how promiscuous they might be, but that's literally what her personality boils down to, and that's what everybody knows her as. And she's gonna go and try to get into my Spanish class and try to seduce me. That bitch looks like Humpty fucking Dumpty. I don't know what she's doing trying to seduce anybody with that. She tried to show a little bit of belly the other day. That shit was hilarious. Anyways, the kind of person that would be related to Saif-ul-Haq. Not shocking at all. Thanks for listening in, folks. This is what beneath what I hide looks like. Not impressive at all. Could use a lot more squats. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that does it. I think I said enough. I think I let you know enough. And I think it's pretty fucking apparent what kind of losers I have to deal with on a regular basis. This video was specifically made because Jasmine Barkus, who also goes by the name Brandon, was following me around. She even followed me to my home and my window, and she was stalking me. This video was also made because I have a really fucking creepy roommate that tries to pop out exactly when I'm coming out of the bathroom naked, or leaving my bedroom door to the bathroom naked, right? We're talking somebody that uses surveillance equipment and is specifically living with me so he can try to get as many gotcha moments as he can. You know, just a fucking loser, kid that plays video games all day, whatever. Just a dude, doesn't fucking matter. I'm not insulting his hobbies. I'm just saying, not some sort of big shot, not some sort of master investigator, just some guy that has shit all over his ass when he sits on the toilet seat and doesn't notice it when he gets up. Just a normal dude, you know, people of the land, morons. Thanks for listening, folks. Hey guys, just a heads up, I did do that edit on the video that you guys suggested that I do, specifically to ensure that it doesn't seem like I was the one that was modifying equipment that I don't own, or that is not my property, or that is important for emergency services. I understand the way I spoke about it seemed like I was the one tampering, but I made sure to edit that portion of the video out, and so it's more clear that my issue and my concern is with these people that set me up for failure and try to make me look bad. I did make myself look bad in that moment by noting that where the camera lens was, and how all of a sudden after I spoke about it, it's just covered in white now. And so I think it's really important that you guys mentioned to me that maybe it seemed like I was the one that modified things or changed things about property that I don't own. So I'm glad you guys did that. Thank you so much. It's just very hectic having to talk about these kinds of things, and I'm not super choice about my words sometimes, and things can be taken from the wrong angle. If you don't have the background and if you don't watch all the other videos, I can see how maybe that might make me look like a crazy person that did this and that. But what more so I was trying to point out was evidence of things being changed around the home that should not be changed, while also pointing out where specifically the camera lenses were put, and then where they all of a sudden disappeared from, and where all of a sudden they seemed like things were sealed off. Anyways, I think you get the point. I think you might understand why that's an important edit to make.